Hello, good afternoon, the APSCE colleagues. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sure.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, today is our honor to have the most well-known, internationally well-known and internationally recognized scholar here from Taiwan, Professor Yu Rulan from National Taiwan Normal University, to deliver one of the most in the hardest and one of the most welcome topic related to language learning, which is the metaverse and the language learning. So let's welcome Professor Yu Rulan to give us a talk.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Now I want to share my screen so you can see my screen. Hello.
Hello. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank Professor Longxiang and Professor Vivian for their invitation. I'm Yu Lan. It's my great honor to share with you my thoughts on the metaverse and language learning. I'm currently a researcher professor at National Taiwan Normal University, and I serve as editor-in-chief of Educational Technology and Society Journal, and also the associate editor of Language Learning and Technology. This is my lab. It's called Situated and Immersive Tale Lab. If you are interested in what my lab is doing, you are very welcome to scan this QR code and visit my lab. Today's topic is metaverse and language learning. Metaverse seems to have become popular after Facebook changed its name to Meta in 2021. Metaverse emphasizes the integration of the virtual and the real. It outlines a blueprint of the future online world, providing people with a living and working environment that is both real and not limited by space. Unfortunately, Meta's debacle seems to have shattered the dreams of many supporters that the metaverse is dying. Even though Meta seems to be scrambling, that doesn't mean the metaverse is going away. When discussing metaverse, we need to understand that metaverse is not a new concept or technology. They just popped up from nowhere. The word metaverse actually first appeared nearly 30 years ago. Neil Stephenson coined the term metaverse in his 1992 science fiction novel, Snow Crash. In Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash, metaverse is a VR-based successor to the internet. And people use their avatars to explore the online virtual world. It also is a way of people escaping a dystopian reality. And we need to notice that in this novel, there is a computer virus that causes metaverse user to suffer brain damage in the real world. So the main character, hero protagonist, try to stop the damage caused by computer virus. In Snow Crash, how do people enter the metaverse? They enter the metaverse by wearing goggles and earphones, very like we do, right? And people appear within the digital, the metaverse with users' own customized avatar. And what can be seen in the metaverse described in Snow Crash? Nature, of course. You can see mountain, you can see forest, you can see ocean, rivers, you can see the nature. Also, artificial buildings. You can see streets, house, amusement park, shops, office, entertainment center, etc. And what players can do in the metaverse in Snow Crash, they can explore the virtual worlds. They can engage in social activities. They can escape from the real world, especially, in Snow Crash, the global economy is already on the verge of collapse. And people can do trade. They can use encrypted electronic currency. They also can spend in their real money on VR estate. As I just said, many predictions in the novel have been fulfilled in the real world over the past 2 decades. Now let's see what we have experienced in over the 2 decades. So we can find that some metaverse elements predicted in Snow Crash already exist. For example, you can see we can put on VR glasses. We can immerse in a world where we can be anyone. We can connect with other people and anywhere in the globe. We can explore and visit places we cannot experience in person. We also can learn, and we can do a lot of things that might not be possible in the real world. And we can create our own VR worlds or make art. After we finish the creation, we can share or sell our work. For example, we can upload our work to such a marketplace. It's a marketplace for Second Life. We can start our business now, and we can also play the role of the customers. We can buy anything we like from the market. You can see I visited the website several days ago because it is Christmas season. So I choose the celebration category, and you can find so many interesting stuffs in the market, and you can buy. Use your real money, but change it to Indian dollars. Then you can buy anything you like. You find in this website. And this is another place you can buy 3D models and then embed them into your VR worlds. I know some of you are creating your own VR or your own metaverse, and you need some 3D objects. Actually, you do not need to create everything. You can find, so many 3D models online, and of course, you need to pay and to get them to use and embed it in your 3D, in your metaverse. And on this page, there's animals. And if you see here, you can see there also you can find nature, 3D models of nature or cartoon or mommy. you can or memo or art or game animation. So many things you can find in such a market, and you can buy them to save your time if you have budget. This is another market. In this market, you can find this page show you many landscapes. So if you want your story happen in a forest, then you can buy this one, rainforest. So it is so many things you can find, and you can buy, you can purchase, you can select, choose from. And in addition to this, another VR game application that cannot be ignored is VR games. We know that games are an excellent entry point into the metaverse. Watch the videos. The videos show you two very popular VR games in this year, 2022.
Recruit, you're part of the triple.
Can you hear the song? Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Good. Now I want to continue.
Oh, now, under the wings of the mightiest fleet the galaxy has ever seen. But here, within the twin planet system, you're on your own.
Okay, I want to stop the video here. I want to continue my speech. Okay. What I just mentioned is the bright side of the metaverse. We can explore, we can visit, we can connect to people from anywhere in the globe. We can learn, we can do many things. So it's very good, very good. However, everything has its bright side and dark side. When we embrace the benefits of VR, we cannot ignore the negative impact of VR on users, especially young people or children. Two issues are very important and needs our effort and attention, that is ethics and health. And the most worrying thing is VR addiction. And research has found that VR addiction may negatively impact children's cognitive development and also their behavior. They seem to echo the prediction in the novel Snow Crash that the computer virus will damage the human brain in the real world. In Stevenson's novel, the main character tried his best to stop the damage of the virus. For a teacher or educator or researcher, how can we do to avoid the negative impact of VR on our learners, our students, needs our attention? So see, many predictions in the novel have been fulfilled in the real world, both positive and negative things. We can build in social connection. We can engage in social interaction. We can run in business, trading with digital currency. We can change one's identity, doing daily activities, learning and teaching, etc. On the other hand, people may have difficulty to distinguish between virtual and reality, and are unwilling to go back to the real world from the metaverse. So many things happen. And we also experienced this over the past 2 decades. So what else needs to be happen from now on? I believe this will be another topic that we can discuss, in the future. Now I would like to move on to the application of VR or the metaverse in language learning. What's it like to learn a language in VR? Based on our personal experience as either language learners or educators and researchers, we all know that learning a language in addition to our first language takes time, persistent involvement, attention, and motivation. We might ask the question, how to master a foreign language successfully? According to Social Cultural SLA, second language acquisition, if learners are to be successful in mastering the target languages, they must actively participate in social, and interpersonal interaction in authentic context. So, active engagement, social and interpersonal interaction, and authentic context are key elements. Given the appropriate language test, they can be satisfied simultaneously in VR. Now let's look at this figure. At the right-hand side shows the essential components of successful language learning I already mentioned just now, including immersion, participation, interaction, and authenticity. And the left-hand side shows the specific characteristic of VR: creation, immersion, and interaction. And VR actually has huge potential to make, the right-hand side happen. But how could we make the dashed lines into solid ones? Learner-centered activities are the key points. That means language learners are simply immersed in VR without any goals to complete any language task or missions. Then successful language learning cannot happen. I want to continue to talk about existing research on language learning in VR. Because of the characteristic of VR I just mentioned, for nearly 2 decades, VR has attracted the attention and efforts of researchers and educators to use VR for language learning. The main reason is that language learning in VR is contextualized and interaction-oriented. According to the findings reported in the existing literature, for the effective gains, learning in VR increased learners' motivation, engagement, sense of presence, and enjoyment. And of course, at the same time, learning language in VR can decrease learners' anxiety. For cognitive gains, because VR provides learners with a context to conduct experience-based and embodied learning, it could create multiple links in users' brains through multimodal input from the environment. Therefore, it helps learners to build a better schema or semantic of the learned material by improving the interaction between working memory and long-term memory, and also enhancing the encoding process at the same time. Consequently, learners' learning outcomes are improved. This framework summarizes the findings from my research series on language learning in VR. The 3 main features of VR: imagination, interaction, and immersion. Once learners immerse themselves into VR, the 3 key elements of the three key elements of foreign language acquisition can be fulfilled. The immersion will activate learners' active participation, and the interaction feature support the social interaction, and of course the imagination or creation will enhance learners' sense of reality. Finally, learners will be learning in a state of flow. In this state, learners will be able to complete language tasks by getting virtually immersed through innovative instructional designs. Remember, I just mentioned task is the key point to have learners successfully acquire the target languages. Now I want to talk about the application, the VR application in language learning. In the past 2 decades, VR has been widely used for language learning. The existing literature can be divided into 4 categories. They are VR for expanding learners' visual experience, VR for entertainment, VR for social networking, and VR for operation. And this category, VR for operation, can further divided into 3 subcategories. They are operation, simulation, and creation. The first VR application is a VR for visual experience. A VR system allows users to visit places that they cannot visit physically in the real world, such as outer space or inside of a volcano. They can also visit a historical occasion like the fourth Olympic Games. On this slide, you can see Discovery VR and Google Expedition. They are 2 online VR resources widely used in education settings. By incorporating Google Cardboard, teachers can give students a completely different field trip experience. These slides show you how students can visit the cathedral in VR chat, even while they are sitting in the classroom. Let's see a short part of this video.
For those more traditional gamers out there who are looking to finally lose their virginity under God's good graces, I might have found the perfect wedding world for you. Holy Night 80s Cathedral convincingly mimics a cathedral and everything one might find inside. Beautiful stained glass windows adorn the hall, which is filled with a variety of organ music which satisfies your ears. This is absolutely the holiest place.
Okay, I want to stop here. And now let's move on to the next slide. This slide shows that we also can guide students to visit Victoria Falls by watching the 360 videos.
Every second, nearly 250,000 gallons.
It's very real. So when students, when they use Google Cardboard, when they watch the video, just like they were, just beside the falls and can observe the fall very clearly. The second application is learning language by playing VR games. VR games in most L2 studies are of 2 types. First type is to use off-the-shelf commercial games. They are, designed for general entertainment purpose. The second type is the game. They are customized and dedicated for language learning. In both types of VR games, players can choose their avatars and play with other players in the game. And during the game, players may lose their lives or points due to mistake or wrong decision. And of course, they can strengthen their positions by conquering challenges, defeating enemies, and achieving game goals. This slide shows you a game. This game is an off-the-shelf commercial game for general entertainment purpose. Now let's watch the video.
Welcome to Hogwarts Legacy. You're a new student at the famed School of Witchcraft and Wizardry with a unique ability to manipulate powerful ancient magic hidden in the wizarding world. You'll need to uncover what's behind the return of this forgotten magic and who is seeking to harness it to destroy wizard kind, as you may be the one that decides the fate of the entire wizarding world. But before you can study magic and begin to solve these mysteries, you must create the witch or wizard you want to be. When you arrive at Hogwarts, you will be sorted into one of the 4 Hogwarts houses: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin. After you settle into your dormitory, you will meet up with your housemates in the common room. You will then need to attend classes, and you do have some catching up to do, as you are starting Hogwarts late as a 5th year.
So check this game as an example. A Harry Potter wizard story. I think most of us know this story. Run through this game. The player takes on the role of a student who holds the key to an ancient secret that threatens to tear the wizarding world apart. So what players do? Players can control the action and be the center of their own wizarding world adventures, and their legacies is what they made. While we're watching this video, we notice that playing this game is interpersonal and socially oriented. But we found that if a teacher uses this kind of game for language learning, L2 learners may only focus on winning the game and ignore the language learning part. They may be silent and not interacting with others, but they only emphasize how to advance and conquering challenges and finally to win the games. Therefore, if teachers use this kind of game in foreign language classes, students should be given clear learning tasks and guidance. This video will show you a game specially designed for kids to learn English after school. Interestingly, some of the children's parents play this game with them, and they love it. The study was conducted in 2013, and the results is published in LT in 2015. Now let's watch the short video. So when students log in, this is the night market. Students, they can play the game of ring toss.
Teddy bear.
They can learn the name of every toys. And then they can practice dialogue with the boss of the ring toss.
Come and play. The name of this game is ring toss.
After students they successfully complete the learning task, they can play the game of the ring toss. All the students' achievement will be recorded and display, their scores will be displayed to everyone. We found that children enjoy the game so much that they learn words and dialogue.
Let's count together.
Okay, so we found that children, they love the games. So they learn the words and dialogue over and over for a chance to improve their game score. So the game is specially designed for language learning. It is different from the first game I shared with you in Harry Potter. Okay, so now let's continue. The third application is using VR for learners to build social networking. Social VR allows users to do many things with others via their avatars, such as they can participate in sport, they can play in games, or they can explore unknown environments. you can see on this screen, I just list some of the platforms. There are many others, there are many VR platforms that support social networking. Here I show VTime, Rec Room, VR Chat, or Second Life. And this is a video of the dance party that took place at the PBTL 2022 conference. The conference was a totally fully online conference, and we had created a social networking platform for all attendants. And you can see I'm here, and this is my friends from New Zealand, some other attendants from different countries, and we have fun together. Okay, I want to stop here. The fourth application is VR for operation. And this kind of VRs emphasize the hands-on experience the user can have when interacting with VR objects. I already mentioned that this category includes three subcategories: manipulation, simulation, and creation. In manipulation VR, learners can manipulate a VR object that might not be possible in real world, such as learner can practice flying a helicopter, or they can observe a priceless treasure such as jadeite cabbage. And in simulation VR, the learners become involved in an imitation of how a real-world process or system works, such as they can learn about a stock market, they can learn how to invest their money and how to earn money. They can, if a student in the law college, they can be in a law court to practice, and they also can rehearsing for an oral presentation, especially graduate students, if they need to give an oral presentation in front of their classmates. Many non-native speakers were very nervous, so they can practice the oral presentation in VR. Or if they want to find a job, if they need to attend a job interview, they also can practice the job interview in VR. This video shows you the CANAR Center. This is CANAR Center in VR. CANAR is an association in Taiwan that helps adults with ASD learn some daily living skills. My research group has been working with the CANAR Association for about 3 years. We created this coffee shop to teach adults with ASD how to serve customers. At CANAR Coffee Shop, all the activities that needed to be done during the service are embedded in the VR center. Adults with ASD can interact with objects and also can become familiar with the process. Now let's watch the video.
Hello.
Good afternoon. I'm Jia Yun, the waitress of this CANAR coffee shop. Before I lead you to the seat, please sanitize your hands first.
Sure. What shall I do next?
Okay, let me check your temperature.
You can see the adults with ASD can use the virtual thermophone to check the temperature of the customer. And
36.5 degrees. Okay, it seems really nice.
Oh, that's great. What shall I do next?
Please sign your name here.
the fourth 3 steps
Sure.
are asked to be done during the COVID-19 in Taiwan, in every shop, in
I'm
every store,
Okay,
every
let
restaurant.
me lead you to your seat.
So the adults with ASD
Great.
need to remember the actions they need to do, when they serve the customer, welcome
Have a
the
seat,
customer.
please.
And you can see the
Okay.
learner, the adults with ASD can take the menu, and
What would you like to have today? The minimum order will
when the
be
customer
100
order the meal,
Taiwanese
you can
dollars.
see the order will show on the menu.
Okay. I would like to have a cup of hot black tea and a piece of cake.
Okay, so a hot black tea and a piece of cake, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me prepare your meal. A moment, please.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to stop here. So you can see the adults with ASD, they can interact with the virtual objects. Actually, all the objects they need to, use in the real Kana coffee shop. They need to welcome the customers. They also need to guide the customer to be seated. They need to take the order. Then they need to go to the chef to take the order of the customer, then to serve the table. So everything they need to do in real Kana Center, they can learn in the VR Kana Center. Okay, and what is creation? VR creations, actually, if we want learners, foreign language learner, to learn a language by VR creations, we need to choose an appropriate tools for our learners. VR creation actually offers the user a set of tools to create their own VR objects or content, such as Omni, Immersion, Vision. This platform is developed by my team and already used by many students, from kids to adults or university students. And Minecraft RAMs, Tilt Brush, Google Blocks, and Go CodeSpace and Tinkercad. They are tools learners can use to create. And now I want to share with you 2 studies of learning English by creation. The first VR co-creation study I want to share was conducted by an elementary school in the mountain areas of Taoyuan City in Taiwan, in northern Taiwan. And my team worked with the elementary school. The research lasted for a semester. And our participants were 29 fifth graders. There were 14 students in class A, consists of 5 boys and 9 girls. And also 15 students in class B, consists of 5 boys and 10 girls. Students in each class were grouped into 3 small teams of 4 or 5. They work collaboratively to complete their learning task. And these 2 classes, class A and class B, they learn to use the tool developed by my team in their computer classes. But their creation has different purpose. Class A was purposeful. That is, when class A create their virtual world, they with the goals to help their English teacher to create an environment for their English classes. But class B, student in class B, they can create anything they wanted. In addition, the English teacher taught class A with the things created by students, and she taught class B with the e-books provided by the publisher as usual. And in this photo, you can see students working with their team members. Actually, you can find the two students were in different team. You will find that the contests they were creating are different. As this slide shows that the English teacher, the English teacher used the student created contest in an English class. It was found that all the students were very excited when they saw what they had created in computer classes being used for their English teacher. And they were fully focused, very proud of themselves, and enjoy the learning very much. And of course, the learning performance outperformed their peers in Class B. The second study was conducted at a university in northern Taiwan. And the participants were 47 Taiwanese freshman English students from a college of medicine. They participated in this study for 3 weeks. We compare the differences in learning outcome between two groups, the stage role play groups and VR creation groups. All the participants in each group in stage role play or VR creation, they need to collaboratively work with their team members to perform the assigned task. The results are positive. The students who collaborative work in VR creation outperform their peers in another group in the quality and the quantity of their overall output and script creation. We can see a very short part of this video. This video created by a group of students. The scenario is student, they need the class focus on training students patient and doctor interaction skill, communication skill. So some students in the group need to take the role of the patient, as some students in the group need to take a role of medical doctor or nurse. And here you see is the patient in the living room in his home. And when you see this, you will see the patient love hamburgers very much and eat hamburgers, many hamburgers every day. So he has some symptom. He didn't feel well. So his wife suggests him to go to the doctor. Okay, let's see. Let's watch the video.
Stop eating hamburger, you little pig. Oh my honey, I love hamburgers. If you keep eating hamburgers like this, you will get diabetes. Diabetes? That's the reason. Because I am dizzy. Oh, I'm always dizzy every day. Stop.
Okay, I think because time limitation, I'll stop here. And you can see a helicopter here. And at first, they wanted to go to the clinic by riding a helicopter, but because the patient overweight, so the helicopter crashed. So he need to ride an elephant to the clinic. All the process quite interesting. But they show their activities, and they also embedded all the essential patient and doctor communication dialogues in their scripts. Very interesting. Okay, so after talking about the application of VR in language learning, and of course, at the beginning, I talk about the metaverse. Now I want to briefly conclude my sharing and also give some suggestion to L2 researchers and educators. First, when VR is adopted for pedagogical purpose in the field of language learning, the following elements should be considered at the same time, including learners' variables such as their first language, their language level, their ability level, and their learning style, their age, their gender. So all the learner variables should be taken account at the same time, and also the researcher need to focus the target linguistic knowledge and competencies, and to choose the appropriate teaching approaches to implement activities to help language learners to acquire the language. And also, educators not only focus on their testing result, but also need to pay attention to the process of learning, language learning. Second, foreign language researchers and educators must focus on providing each individual with precise suggestion and scaffolding during the VR exploration of player, especially when teacher use off-the-shelf commercial VR games for language learning. Student need to give a very precise task goals, and also the guidance scaffold. If teacher, for example, want to expand students' visual experience by having them to use Google Cable to watch 360 videos, actually teacher need to tell students, especially when the learners are very young, they need to know the focus of exploration, or they were just wandering and lost in the VR world. And third, I want to say that if students want to fly high, they need strong wings. Creation is the wings they need to soar their minds, to explore their potential, and show us what they can do is always beyond our imagination. So students should be given opportunity to create their own learning contents, to explore their potential, and show us what they can do. It's like the features of Web3. Web3, one of the future is decentralization. In Web3, the decentralization focus on digital currency. But if I apply this idea in language learning, I want to say that students need to own their learning. They need opportunity to create. They need opportunity to explore the words and also to find what they can do. So teacher, we should try to pass the learning authority from teacher to students, and have students to really manage or monitor their learning process. And fourth, research generation into the use of VR for foreign language learning and teaching are still emerging. Although over 2 decades, VR has been used in foreign language research and learning. But based on some systematic reviews article or study, we found that most of the study focus on most of the study do not report effect size. Most of them only report students or learners' effective dimension, their effective gain. But we need more confident evidence to show us to what extent VR can help language learner to acquire languages. So we need more empirical evidence, both positive and negative, is needed to guide its direction in order to fully realize the huge possibilities. And we need to remember that everything has its bright side and dark sides. So we not only focus on the learning benefits we can obtain from VR immersion. The educators and researchers also, should pay attention to improving the use of VR in learning. We need to help develop the IQ levels and behaviors of youngsters and students and avoid the negative effects of VR immersion on learner health. We know that bullying happens frequently in VR worlds. So we need to teach our students how to behave in VR worlds and how to avoid bullying happen to them. So we need to cooperate with researchers from discipline. We need to work with psychologists. We need to work with IT engineers. We also need to work with educational experts. We need to work together to expand the positive effect, but to decrease the negative effect on our learners. Okay, that's all I want to share today. Thank you for listening. Comments and questions are very welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Lan. We wish to continue. We wish to continue. 1 hour for you, it's too apparently too short. I was learning.
Thank you very much.
So much from you, and
you are so humble. I need to learn from you. Okay,
so very excellent and inspiring talk. Yeah, really, I wish to continue, for another hour. All right, so now I leave the rest of the time to the participants. We have quite enough participants online. I bet they have questions for you to answer. Yes. Yeah, my dear participants, if you have any questions, feel free to write to the Q&A in the chat. But please seize the opportunity to interact. Professor Lan, this is a great opportunity.
I found no question. So maybe we can add the section earlier.
Yeah, if you have any question for Professor Lan, would you please, do not hesitate to write your questions to the question and answer chat. Yeah, Professor Lan, then I do have a question for you. Yeah, I admire you a lot because you were able to, from your slides or several of your slides, you were able to combine or connect the feature or the affordance of VR to language learning. Yeah, so where did you get this kind of inspiration to connect both, in such a very close and a coherent way? So there's a chart, there's a figure.
It's back to 2009. More than over 10 years ago. The first time when I used Second Life.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whether the audience know that I was an elementary school teacher for 22 years before becoming a professor at university. I taught English, and I found that the most challenging thing for an English teacher is to create authentic context for their students, to know when and how to use the language they learn in the classroom. When I use Second Life, immediately I think, oh, that's it. That's what I'm looking for so long. And so I try to, and as I mentioned in my sharing that if students, they were only simply immersed in VR, actually very limited learning gain can obtain. So I try to implement the learning approaches I used in real English classroom in VR And we found that when we have very good text design, students, they can, they just thought they were playing. They are not learning, they are playing, but, they also learn what we want they learned. So I think back to 2009.
Wow, okay. And I also absolutely agree with you on one of the slides. You say students should be given opportunity to create their own learning contents. So turn the students from VR users to VR creators. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm one of your followers. I bet you have so many followers, and I'm one of them. Yes.
You do such great things. You have, been doing such great things. I also learn from you. Vivian is also pioneer. She create many interesting things in VR or robots. I learned a lot from you. Thank you. And Vivian, I found that
that's a question. Yes.
Danner,
yes.
She asked for the downsides of AR assisted language learning. I think it depends on what we want students to learn. The subject domain, and sometimes it's difficult to create the AR, the AR scenario. It is difficult, and also I think it takes time. It takes time, and sometimes if we do not give students very precise guidance, they just play with AR. They do not focus on learning. And actually, I don't know whether I answer Danner, Professor Sun's question. I think the downside depends on our teaching goal, and sometimes the content will decide whether it is okay to use AR. So I think the content selection. When I encourage teachers or researchers to use VR or AR in language learning, I don't mean that we need to use XR all the time. Actually, we need to select appropriate content and also incorporate with appropriate learning approaches.
Yeah, that's one more question, Professor Lan. He says you mentioned ASD. When playing a video, is this an app or a platform or skill for VR creation? You mentioned.
Yeah, you mean the Kanna Center, right?
And
the demo, the demo video, one is my student, one is my research assistant. But we have a Kanna, we have adults from Kanna Center to log in the VR environments and to learn. And one of my research assistant take the role of the customers. So the adults with ASD from Kanna Center, they take the role of the waitress to serve us. So actually, all the process, all the action they need to do in real Kanna Center, they can learn from doing. Engaging in the VR Kanna.
So is this open to the public?
Yes, if you it's open because it's in Second Life. And now I'm moving the Kanna Center to VR chat because I want to compare different learning modes with low immersive VR and high immersive VR. Which one is the best for adults of ASD with ASD? So now I'm moving the center to VR chat. It's almost done, and we have different ideas, to provide as many support as to provide ASD learners with many supports as possible.
So this question is from Sarah Chen. So I believe, Sarah, you can probably
where I can see the question. Oh, here.
Here, yeah, under the bottom. Yeah. 问与答，问与答。 So Sarah,
Oh, Sarah asked me the Canal Center actually all the everything created by my team. It's in Second Life Islands. It's Second Life Island. Yeah.
it seems a very interesting VR.
Because adults with ASD, we need to have everything identical to the real things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to, very careful to design the learning process and every object. And you can see, in the VR, the Canal Center almost the same as the real one. So it took us much time to copy the real Canal Center to VR, and we also copy the process in VR. Yeah, and our first try actually, very promising. So we want to do more to help them.
All right. Okay. I think it's about time we end your wonderful wonderful talk. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
We should
everyone.
continue. Yeah, forever.
Okay. I hope we can have time. Professor Sun, if you have another question, we can discuss later.
Okay. So, and before I conclude this webinar, do I miss anything, Longxiang? Do I miss anything important? Yes. Okay. So, so I would like to thank you very much for participating in this wonderful and excellent webinar in the topic of the metaverse and language learning. Yeah, I believe that Professor Lam will welcome you very much if you have any questions regarding the metaverse and the language learning. She is the right one to approach. Right, so the feedback is very important. So please submit your feedback by scanning the QR code. Yeah, your feedback and constructive feedback and comments are very, very valuable and very important to us. So please complete the survey by scanning this QR code. Yeah, so we'll improve to help us improve our future webinars.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time.
So
okay.
Please, yes.
It's done.
It's done. So please,
okay.
Yeah.
So thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes, thank you. And have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you to Websy. Thank you to Longxiang and to Alex.
Yeah,
thank you.